Bill Cullen has spent half of his 36 years in radio and television. Right now, he's working on air for about 4.5 hours a day, and that's a long day in this business. He's doing a morning radio show and a television show. The Price is Right on NBC. He also comes over to CBS once a week for Gary Moore's I've Got a Secret. Bill started as an announcer in Pittsburgh. Then he came to CBS here in New York. And for just about 10 years now, he's been asking or answering questions in public. Bill's wife, Ann, is a former fashion model. She comes from California. Bill and Ann Cullen live on the 11th floor of this apartment building in New York. They've been here in 5 rooms facing the East River since they were married, and that was a little over a year ago. Evening, Bill.
Oh, hi, Ed.
Hello, Ann.
Hello, Ed.
What are you two doing?
Well, actually, Ed, I thought while you had all your magnificent equipment up here with these fine lights, which I can't get in the place myself, I thought I'd sort of take advantage of them and take some pictures. I'm a camera bug, you know, and I thought I'd do what I could.
Good. Send us a print, will you?
Okay, I'll be glad to, Ed.
Ann, how are you taking to this New York high living?
I love it, Ed. I really do, including the recent snow.
Uh-huh.
It's been a lot of fun, and I love the big change. It's so different from Southern California. And the theater I love, you know, the whole business.
The whole thing's pretty nice.
Bill, you don't have to work tomorrow, do you?
Fortunately, I don't, Ed. I'm one of the lucky ones on Saturday and Sunday. I get the day off, and all I can say is the pleasure's all mine. It's the only 2 days a week I get a chance to do any sleeping.
Ann, how do you survive Bill's early morning schedule?
It's really not too difficult. Well, I get up at about 4:15 and make coffee and orange juice and wake Bill about 4:30.
I sleep late, 4:30.
And then he leaves about 5:30, and I'm asleep about 5:35.
Actually, yeah, that's not completely true. During the whole period, she never quite wakes up.
That's true.
She goes through the motions. You've heard of low-calorie breakfast, Ed. I get sort of a somnambulistic coffee in the morning. It's a whole sleepwalking process, but it's better than making it myself.
Bill Cullen, how do you define the varied work you do on radio and television? Or do you?
I don't often try it because it's difficult, and if I work at defining it, I think I'm going to deflate my ego. The things I do are so easy. For instance, I play a game when I've got a secret. I tell people the correct time and acquaint them with goings-on about New York in my Morning Pulse program. And on The Price is Right, all I do is act as an MC or moderator and just listen to what the people say and say a few things back to them. So there's no lines to rehearse or no acting to do or anything like that, which comes right in my... I fill those qualifications. No talent, Ed.
All sounds very simple, but I know it isn't. And what do you do while Bill is busy talking for a living?
Well, I keep pretty busy around the apartment and enjoy doing that.
She listens, I hope, once in a while.
All the time.
That's
Never
the
miss
one.
a show. And when I get a chance, I do a little bit of painting. I studied a few years when I was on the coast, and I intend to get back to it here.
She's one of those ones, Ed, who do abstractions, you know.
I was just going to ask, what kind of paintings?
Well, actually, you mean, what do I work with? I work with Cassine now, which is fun and games, and...
Go show him one. You got a mess of them in
Actually,
we have more
what?
paintings.
What did you say?
I'm sorry, Ed.
Well, let me pull some of this out. Here's one, Ed. This was a lot of fun because Bill and I collaborated on it. He took the picture, and I did the painting.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
A little old tugboat.
That's a boat, Ed. I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, I can identify it all right.
Thank you.
Show him the football atop there.
Oh, righty.
You didn't make the football, did you?
No, I didn't. This is part of Bill's life I have here, and I'll throw it,
You
the
will?
ball, to old Bill.
There you are.
We've been betting you couldn't catch it.
That wasn't a bad catch at all, was it, Ed? This football is a pretty important thing to me. It's one of my favorite keepsakes. And I've got a secret, Ed. About 8 or 9 weeks ago, Art Linkletter was on the show, and he gave me a loving cup for the most neglected panelist on the show. And he asked people, they referred to me as poor old Bill, and he asked people to send in things to me, and 170,000 nice people, whom I've never gotten a chance to properly thank you, sent me all kind of nice things, and among which was this football, inscribed to me. You probably can't read it from where you are, but it says, "To poor old Bill from the University of Iowa football team, They're the Big Ten champs, and it's from the team in Forest Evashevsky, and it's one of my prized possessions.
Very nice.
Yes, it is.
Bill, tell me, how did you keep busy as a youngster?
Well, Ed, having had polio, I didn't go through the football and baseball that most kids do. I got some of it, but my father owned a garage, and at a very early age, in the garage, I learned to drive like when I was 13. I had raced midget auto racers when I was about 17, and to get back another year or so, when I was 16, I had already learned to fly and was doing quite a bit of flying on my own. I have quite a few hours along about this time.
Ann, have you ever flown with Bill?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I first came to New York, Bill was very anxious to show me around Manhattan. So we went to the airport and got in a little Bonanza, and he took me on a wonderful tour of Manhattan, and nice clear day.
Yeah. Could see Catalina, Ed.
And then we came back for the landing, and of course Bill explained this a little better because there were wind problems and traffic problems, and we had to...
What it was, I was upside down, Ed.
We came screaming in at about an angle like this, and Bill turned to me and said, "You know, I haven't landed one of these for about a year and a half."
Very encouraging.
Ann turned the most beautiful shade of chartreuse you've seen in a long time, Ed. She looked great.
Bill, do you ever have any time for flying now?
Not as much as I'd like to have, Ed. With the schedule I have, I'm either working, sleeping, or going out and trying to find some diversion. And I do get a chance occasionally to fly on the weekends, but most of it, actually, is one of the reasons why we're in this apartment right on the East River. You can probably hear the boats out there. I'll show you, from here, from our window, we get a real magnificent view. Looking straight east from our apartment, you get a sensational look at LaGuardia Airport, directly over the Triborough Bridge there. That's LaGuardia, just below the moon. Then looking on down, that's Astoria and Brooklyn and Welfare Island, down to about 85th Street or 82nd. There's apartment buildings. That dark blob you saw with the lights was Carl Schurz Park, Gracie Mansion. That's the FDR Drive down there. You can probably see the cars.
Yes, we can.
Well, that's FDR Drive right at 90th Street, where it comes close to East End Avenue. And right now, that thing you see is something near and dear to my heart, because that is the fireboat Thomas Willett, and I've been associated with these fellows for some time, and I see them out there right now.
Do you think they might be watching you now through the window?
I'm pretty sure they are, Ed, because you can see them there watching the window from where they are. They, like everyone in the neighborhood, knew we were going to be on the air. I've worked with them before on my Pulse program in the morning. I'll tell you what, Ed, let's see, fellas, on the Willett down there, if you can hear me, would you give me our blast on that very quiet whistle of yours? Beautifully done. That was in the key of B flat. I guess that answers our question, Ed, huh?
Certainly does. Thank you very much, the men on the fireboat. I think we ought to come down and visit you one night on the fireboat. And if you can hear me now, would you give us a couple of toots on the whistle? We'll be coming. It works. We'll have a whole covey of fireboats around there soon, Bill.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't in bed when that one went off.
Bill, it looks as though you two have all the elements of a Mr. and Mrs. show right here in your apartment.
Yeah, Ed, we got the Mr., and we got the Mrs., and we got the apartment. And if there's anyone who wants to sponsor us, well, we're available, aren't we?
Certainly.
I'll do the talking.
Ann, have you had any radio or television experience?
Experience, yes. I appeared with Bill on the I've Got a Secret show
Yeah, she did.
as the typical American housewife.
You should have seen the letters we got on that one, Ed.
No one seemed to believe it.
I can understand that.
I
Well,
can too. She's not very typical, actually.
what I do, I get up at 4:30.
Makes the coffee.
Coffee.
Actually, she was on a show out on the coast on the Lux Summer Theater. She had this one part. I just thought I'd tell it. She worked very hard, Ed, on her lines. She rehearsed, and I even tried to help her. I'm not much help because I can't read lines. But she went through the whole play, and I listened to her, and I don't know whether she did well or not. She did the lines, but she did them so quietly, no one in the whole Coast to Coast network heard a word she said. But she looked good.
That's not nice.
And she got a paycheck, too, I just thought I'd mention,
Oh, yes, I did.
which she immediately signed over to herself.
Is that her habit?
Signing the paychecks over to herself?
Yeah.
Just about, I'd say, Ed. Yes, she, no, actually, that's not true. We sort of share everything. I make it and Ann spends it.
That's right. It's a nice arrangement.
Yeah,
Bill Cullen, you've been a lot of places in this business of radio and television. Where would you like to go?
You mean as far as career-wise is concerned, Ed?
Yes.
Well, gee, I don't think anywhere but where I am. I have an easy job, and oftentimes when things look blackest, I say, where else could you do such pleasant work, and I mean this sincerely, work that's so easy and so pleasant and make a real good living. I do both of those things. I'm happy. I never want to get to the top because I think the drop's too far. I don't want to get to the bottom because the climb's too far. But if I could just stay right where I am for the balance of my career, I mean this sincerely, I'm very happy. I'm pleased with things as they are, Ed.
Well, Bill, you spend a lot of time ad-libbing and with a wide variety of people. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Actually, Ed, the few times I've drawn a blank, I have a habit of forgetting names. Once when I've got a secret, I addressed Judith Anderson as Agnes Moorehead, or Agnes Moorehead as Judith Anderson. I was terribly embarrassed. And another time on a show I did out in the coast called Place to Face, I referred to Ronald Reagan as Phil Reagan. And I want to apologize to all four of those people right now. I, once in a while, do forget names. I really do, George.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good night, Bill.
Good night, Ed. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Good night, Ad.
Good night.
Thank you very much indeed. And good night to the men on the fireboat as well. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much.